goodness, I need to clean my mic. It's got paint and all kinds of shit all over it. I think I just picked off some glue. Oh my goodness. Right. Well then. So hello. Alright, so I think it's finally stopped storming, at least. So we can try to get some shit done here today. I'm actually starting quote-unquote on time for a change. So today we've got the last 4 remaining bloodthirsties to work on. We've got the warrior, the shaman, the demon hunter, and the druid. If all goes well, the druid is in line to be the next one to be wrapped up. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I somehow accidentally got more levels in between the demon hunter and the druid than I necessarily wanted. Not quite sure how I managed to do that, but we did. That's fine. That's whatever it is, you know. So my estimated finishing time frame is a bit off from where I was thinking we'd be at this point, but you know, life and sanity happened, and those needed to be dealt with. So yeah, so things just got pushed back a bit. And I've got a few other projects I'm in the middle of working on, so, you know, things happen. But today we're going to kick off with the warrior, and yes, the warrior is in a similar transmog to the Death Knight. I don't have a whole lot of plate. Like generic plate. I just don't, for some reason. Probably because I play more cloth characters than plate characters. So, not too plentiful on the plate transmogs, if you will. At least that, you know, look decent with each other. Alright, so warrior is like my least strong class out of everybody. And the sad part is, I'm pretty sure we've seen level 39 before. This one got caught up in level squish. Man, that level squish, it really felt like a kick in the teeth, I gotta tell ya. We had come so far. Only to, you know, hit that go directly to jail card or block on the board, and got kicked back and basically told, no, you have to start over now, even though you got to this point. Ugh, so frustrating. Because it's like, I've seen this level before, I don't want to do it again with the same character. But what can you do? Not a whole hell of a lot. Not a whole hell of a lot. I mean, at least we get ignore pain a little bit sooner. So it's helpful. I would have liked to have seen ignore pain be a little bit longer. But, you know. We can't have everything that we want, I suppose. No matter how much we want it. I really thought that little guy was gonna jump in here. I was like, oh no. That's okay. We didn't really need him to jump in. So, excuse me, I did stock up on food. We'll see how long it lasts. I'm sitting at 297 pieces. We'll see. We'll see. Will that carry us all the way till we get out of BFA? Another, what, 10-ish levels? I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Oh, I went window shopping last night, comparing prices, and I shouldn't have done that, because now I just want all of the colors of yarn so that we can start doing some more non-Bob Rossi things, and was not surprised by how much it was gonna be, but also just kind of like, damn, we need a sale. Like, really bad. Even with the sale, we probably won't be able to get everything. I think I had it worked out to like $160. And even with their 15% off your order offer for your first order from that particular site, it only brought it down to like $135, and I was like, damn. At least shipping was free at that point, but it's like, yeah, that's gonna be a while before we can pull that off. Sadly, but that's okay. I mean, it'll come back around on sale at some point. The only thing I don't know is if the sale price and the percentage off your first order offer were something that could be conbound. Like, I didn't know if it would apply to sale prices, because I didn't sign up for it yet because I didn't want the offer to go away. No, I've got one more website I gotta look at and compare, so I've at least got 2 possible websites to order the yarn from, and I just want to take a peek at Walmart's website. In store was pathetic for the color selection. It's pathetic at best. At least in, you know, my price point. It was like a half aisle, like one side of the aisle, for arts, for yarn. And while their other art supply selection has improved, and I do appreciate that. They've got a bunch of canvases now, sketchbooks, pens, pencils. They've certainly stepped up their game there, and gives me an option aside from Hobby Lobby, so sort of like the lesser of two evils, in the I can afford this slot. But I gotta look on their website, because their house brand is decent price for the amount that you get. However, I don't know if they have the shades I'm looking for. That's the problem. That is the problem. And then when I was on the other website I was looking at, I had like gotten myself up to like 46 shades of yarn. I was like, oh damn. and that was not counting the shades that I had, but I'm like, oh, this would be nice. Oh, this would be nice. Like, oh, that would go well with this. It's like, oh, we could do like cactuses with this color grouping of stuff, and or succulents and things, and I got a little carried away, but at the same time I was like, I could use these colors for this too, and I hate it when the inspiration hits and you get excited about a project and then your bank account goes, whoa, hold up, bitch. What do you think this is? That ain't happening. So I'm like, yeah. So I'll have to sit on the money that we got for our wedding anniversary. We split it 50-50, so he got some stuff to make some Buckeyes that I might need to help him make. I don't know if it's not, probably not going to be tonight. I'll be surprised if it's tonight. Because we're both fucking exhausted, because all it did was storm since 4:30 this morning. And, like, house shaking, dog upsetting, thunder at times, like, jolting you out of your drifting off to sleep. Bam! And I'm like, God damn. Worried the house was gonna get hit by lightning for a while. It was like strobe light down in the club at one point. It's like, oh my. The dogs kept looking to the door, very concerned about the loud noises coming from beyond it. And I'm like, I know, doggos. Me too. Me too. So I'm gonna have to just kind of hold my money for now. As much as it kills me. Like, I kind of want to post some stuff on Etsy, but then that'll be a few dollars less that I have to work with without, you know, knowing that something's going to sell. So I might just kind of wait until I get a little bit more new stuff to post. I don't really have that much new stuff to put up there. And the Bob Ross magnets had shown some interest, and a couple sold, but the rest weren't really doing anything, so I'm kind of like, meh. It's like, I don't know, do I want to try to put these back up again? I think I had already lowered them more than I had wanted to, but at the same time I just kind of wanted them gone. So they're taking up storage space. I don't know, I gotta think about it. We'll have to see how life goes. So yeah, if there had been something that you guys had seen a while back, oh dang, in the Etsy shop that you were interested in and you want it and it hasn't been back, let me know. Like, reach out to me. I may have it and then I can post it for you specifically to buy. Like, it may have just simply come down off the shop. It may not have sold. And you can reach out to me on Twitter or through Etsy messages. That should let me know when I have a message through my email. You all know how to get a hold of me. Alright. Oh, that photo is just all boob. Oh my goodness. That's not much better. That's a little better. Alright. So that was pretty quick, but then again, she was sub 40, so all challenges, bloodthirsty, Control your soul. Remember, there is no WoW Challenges podcast this week. Lita's taking off for her anniversary, which I think is this weekend. It's our first anniversary for her and to execute. And oddly enough, today's our wedding anniversary for me and the husband. So we've been married 15 years. Challenges, bloodthirsty, troll your soul, prot warrior, dings, level. Sorry, I actually had to go back and read it because I had lost my train of thought. Which is not necessarily hard for me to do. It happens probably about, I don't know, 30 times a day. A lot of twos in there. 2 days, 23 hours, 12 minutes, 24 seconds. Just shy of 3 days. Total kills. So yeah, if you have your Twitter linked or you like to tweet about your challengers, whether they've not made it or whether they've leveled up, use that hashtag #WoWChallenges. Because then that lets me and Lita keep track of, you know, what you guys are doing and, you know, celebrate with you on the Twitters, since we both take care of the WoW Challenges Twitter account. Which is why sometimes you'll see us tag, if you DM the account, you'll see us tag our names at the bottom, or at least I try to make sure I tag my name at the bottom when I'm talking to you guys so you know who you're talking to. Since there's 2 of us that deal with it. So, but yeah, this lets us see what's going on. It lets us, you know, like and comment and all that. So we're at 6,166. Okay, well, at least it's not, I mean, it is still 3 6s, but at least they're not like all lined up together. So that's something. All right, let's do our inventory things. See, we've got plenty of food for now. So we did end up with 5 ivory tusks this level. And these are like, what, 11 gold, so 208 total. Probably a little better than I was expecting for 39 into 40. We'll see what happens next level, but yeah, that wasn't bad. And that was pretty quick for the warrior to bust through those 3 bars. I'm sure now it'll start slowing down on them now that they're in the 40 to 50 grind. Let's pop on over to the shaman. She did switch out her cape, so she no longer has the murloc on her back at the moment. We'll probably put the murloc back when we head out to Shadowlands, if she makes it that far. I'm not gonna go all the way back to Tiergard just to, or Borealis, just to redo a cape transmog that's gonna end up changing again before we head out to Bastion. So it's just kind of silly. I have got to dust this desk so bad. I need to get the feather duster out. Or the vacuum. It is Dust Bunny City. Why does my shaman do this? Every time I load in on her. Is this a dwarf thing, or is this just something weird with their animation? Her arms are like frozen at her sides until she casts something, and then she moves them. Like, is this a bug? Like, what is this? It's creepy, is what it is. It's really creepy. Alright, so she's got 3 bars left to go as well. It's about the standard level up point that I leave them at. Sub 50. 50 to 60 is a bit long, though, to get through 3 bars sometimes. 3 bars in the 50 to 60 level range could take upwards to 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the class that we're running at the time, so I try to leave those guys with 1 bar to go, just to try to make things a little bit easier to get through. We'll see what time it is when we get done everybody today. We might have time to hop on the Working Man. We'll see. Don't forget Darkmoon Fair is in town right now. Fair and I are working on doing some research and getting screenshots and stuff for an article for the Darkmoon Fair for your challengers. So we don't really have one. And that probably won't be available until the next Darkmoon Fair. Like, it'll probably be done before then, but I don't think it's gonna be done until, like, maybe just as the event's ending, so there's kind of no point in putting it up at that stage. I'd rather post it, like, just as the fair's coming back into town. So that article will probably go up in July. But that's okay, because we also have Midsummer Fire Festival coming up. Let me move my lamp because it's blocking the top corner of my screen. Midsummer Fire is coming up on the 21st. When is Father's Day this year? Okay, that's the 19th. Alright. Okay, so that's there. So Midsummer Fire is going to start on a Tuesday. And that is going to be Tuesday the 21st. And that's going to go until... When does that end? That ends on Tuesday, July 5th at like 10 a.m. So really, don't log in and expect to get a whole ton of shit done here. So be mindful of that. Alright, since there seems to be some people chatting out here, let's go ahead and switch to combat log. And we'll see what we can get done here. Oh, there's just so many things I want to do, and my brain is just like screaming at me. Oh, did you see the news today? Oh my goodness. Sorry, it's not like mainstream news, this is nerdy news, so before I get everybody too worked up. We're getting a new animal pack from Planet Zoo. That's going to be out on the 21st too. Oh my goodness. It looked like it was going to be $10. And we're getting 5 what was it? Is it endangered animals, I think? And we're getting 150 set pieces of scenery. Like, sustainably inspired scenery. and foliage and shit, and I am so excited about that. I'm excited about that more than the animals, to be perfectly honest. I'm like, yes. And they had a quick little, very quick, very little video clip showcasing some of the new scenery pieces, and I was seeing sunflowers. That was amazing. I was seeing what looked like a rain barrel attached to a rain gutter on a building, that I noticed right off the bat. It was, from what I was reading, it sounded like there was going to be a bit more back of the house decorating things. And oh, I am so excited for this. I'm like, yes! So that's going to be all sorts of fun. Cannot wait to pick that up. Very, very excited. And there's just so many other things I want to work on. I am still working on that damn paint by number as I have time. I only have like 1 day a week where I've been really able to work on it. Maybe 2 if I'm feeling well enough to. And I think I finally finished one of the colors. So that was exciting. And I've got a couple different ideas for paintings, and oh, there's just so much going on in my brain right now, and I'm like, oh, I've got an idea for a tissue paper art project too, and I kind of want to do a painted version of it to go with it, and my brain is just like going in like 15 different directions at once, so I'm just like, no. So as bad as I want that yarn, I might have to sit on that for quite a while. Maybe I can ask for that for Christmas. My mom is gonna give me such a stupid look. She's gonna be like, what do you guys want for Christmas? I'm gonna hand her a list of yarn that's like $160. She's gonna be like, what? What the fuck is this? You want yarn? Yes, please. And maybe a container to keep it all in. Okay, thanks. We'll see what happens. I might be able to get some of it. Depends on when I get a Twitch payout, which at the rate things are looking like probably won't be until November, so. Oh, I'm like, why can't I see anybody? I forgot. I was doing screenshots for, that's not right. For, the Dark Moon Fair article, and I forgot. I had turned off all of the nameplates because they were in the screenshot, and I'm like, no, go away. I was like, you're gonna look bad when I have to edit this photo. Just go away. Forgot to turn them back on. That's what was weird here. I should be the queen of forgetting things and not the queen of the bloodthirsties. Yeah, so there's no show this week. Show 299 I am going to be helping co-host though, and that is going to be on the 18th. That's going to be a jam-packed weekend. Father's Day co-hosting. show posting, Fire Festival article, getting readying. It's gonna be a jam-packed weekend. And if things go right, in time for show 300, we might have another level 60 Bloodthirsty. Maybe. Maybe. I would have rather had everybody done by then, but yeah, that wasn't gonna happen. My skin's been crawling trying to get through Bastion. It's just not. I lucked out where the druid was able to deal with the level 60 mobs at level 57. Cause that would not have been a good thing for my sanity. As it was, dealing with those took me like 2 days. I just hit a point where I'm like, yeah, no, I can't power through this anymore today. My attention is wandering left, right, and center. At least there's a lot of art tutorials from this one YouTuber. She does a lot of, like, here's the thing. She does a lot of watercolor and stuff. And I'm, like, fascinated by how she can just, you know, finish something in, like, 20 minutes. And I'm like, how did you do that? But, you know, a lot of it's edited and, you know, things sped up with a heat tool or a hairdryer. And, I can't even tell you when the last time I owned a hairdryer was. And, it's so good. Everything she touches, no matter what medium she touches. Her primary seems to be watercolor and then, like, kind of mixed media, but she also does greeting cards and stamping and oil pastel, and she's done a little bit of oil paint. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And I'm just like, oh my god, girl. Everything you touch just looks fucking amazing. So, I've been slowly watching the shit ton of stuff that she has posted. And she also does a lot of reviews on art supplies. I can't tell you how many watercolor sets that she's done reviews on. It is crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm just like, wow, tell me, have you used all of these? Like, my god, I would be overwhelmed. I wouldn't know what set to use. I think a lot of stuff she might donate to the school that's in her town. Oh, there's that True Flight fletching. Now, it puts that buff on, excuse me, on my shaman here. But it didn't put it on the demon hunter, which I found fascinating. It, like, was that a bug? Or what? Like, the demon hunter got the feathers and would pick them up. Does it only buff shamans? Is this like a class specific thing? It's very strange. Though I think I've seen it on my other classes. It's just that the demon hunter wasn't putting the buff on. Did they forget to check the box for the demon hunters to get that? I mean, we can't keep it on anyway as challengers, so I mean, that's gotta go, but it just fascinated me. So I did see that our local Supercenter Walmart carried felt squares. Supposedly 9 by 12. I haven't measured them though, I should. And we'll see how those go. They feel a little bit rougher than the stuff in the multi-pack of colors I had gotten off of Amazon. These were 32 cents a sheet. So not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. I think they might have been a little bit cheaper at Hobby Lobby, but I try not to go there if I can absolutely help it, because they're still doing all sorts of shitty things, and I don't wanna, if I can help it. The only other art store, like art supply store, that is close to us would be Joann's, and they're not exactly close to us. They're a hike, all things considered. So, I mean, not as much of a hike as Michael's would be, but they are on the other side of Fayetteville, so they're, depending on traffic, maybe a half hour to 45-minute drive. So that's gonna have to wait for me to price how much their felt squares are in store, until we're actually out that way. Which might not be till maybe close to Christmas. We're not on that side of Fayetteville very often. But Michael's, our closest Michael's, and Michael's is actually a little pricey, in the grand scheme of things. They always have been. Like, Michael's was always more most of the time compared to the store that I worked at, but then again, you know, our store manager was constantly in there price comparison. He was in there like every couple of days with one of the assistant managers. But I always, even the last time we were up in Jersey, which was a couple of years ago now, we had popped in there because we were there for a couple of days and I needed something to occupy me while I was chilling at the hotel. And it just, like, I don't know, either I've gotten more aware of how much things cost because, you know, money's tight, or they were just expensive. Like, everything I went to pick up, I was cringing when I was looking at the prices. I was like, oof. But I do find them to be more expensive on some things. Oh, do we have a visitor?
Yeah, but I'm actually going to check out the fallen limb.
Okay. Yeah, we had a chunk of a tree fall in the backyard during all of the storms this morning. It's a tree that's kind of between our property and the neighbor's property. I think it might sit like right on the property line, to be perfectly honest, or that tree might be just on her side of the property line. It kind of fell. I was worried it hit the house, and Russell's like, no. It was like on the back side of the tree. Nothing was under it. but we've already had to cut a bunch of limbs off that tree that were hanging over our side because a piece had fallen off and hit the corner of the roof over the mother-in-law's bedroom. And it apparently had put a hole in the roof, and we didn't know it for a while. Until one day the neighbor said something about, you know, there's a hole in your roof, right? And we're like, what? What do you mean? And then we found all kinds of roof damage on that side of the house. Oh. Like, they had to redo several roof supports, and oh, it was a fucking nightmare. Oh, we did. That was a surprise. I was not expecting that. Okay. I didn't realize we were quite that close. We take that off so that we can get a better look at it here. Oh, that's... there we go. Yes, yes. Now Morgan's gonna talk. Morgan, I don't have time to listen to you right now. There's no time, Morgan. Alright. I can't even, like, I mean, I could go through the mall at 48, but I can't utilize the mall skip until 50, so... hush. So, whoop. Wow, challenges. Blood thirsty. Tidal soul. Resto chamois. Things level 48. Looking at a slash plate of 5 days, 30 hours, 1 minute, and 19 seconds. Total kills thus far on the chamois. Cats! Why you gotta be cats? It's been so bad. So bad the past couple of days. 9,450. Alrighty. So that's going to Twitterland. And we're coming out here and we're gonna repair. And we're gonna vendor. So, like I said, I replaced the cape. And we picked up 2 other greens. So that's gonna be a piddly amount. 23 gold. So let's work through only 1 bushy tail this time. I'm a little surprised. Just a little bit. Alright, so let's see. 319. So that was a bit more than I was expecting, honestly. But, you know, not bad, not bad. Alright, so we'll let you kind of chill for a little bit, and we'll go and we'll grab the next challenger. So that's gonna be the Demon Hunter. Man, we are flying through these right now. We might have time to pop on the we might have time to hop on the Working Man. We will see. So I hope everybody's week is going pretty good. I'm hoping that we'll get the chance to dry out a little bit. So much rain. We're under a flash flood. We were under a flash flood watch, a flash flood advisory, and a flash flood warning. Around... Oh, what time was it? Around 9:30? Storms had woken me up again at that point, and was not pleased, to say the least. Very tired. I think we're down to just a flash flood advisory right now, or a flash flood watch. Because the skies are starting to clear. I think it has stopped raining for the moment. There was talk that we might have one more round of showers and or storms either Thursday morning or Friday morning, and then it's gonna get hot. And I'm like, well, what kind of hot are we talking? And they're like, oh, like high 80s, 90s. So I'm like, oh, so like August hot. Gotcha. Right then. Alright, so I'm not even gonna try to do the upper half of that loop anymore. That Shaman Thorn inside is just, I don't have the energy. And I don't want to spend 20 minutes trying to get a kill in. So let's just come over here and be done with it. We got a bar left to go on this one. I feel like her speed of killing things hasn't been too bad. 6.5 hours so far. But then again, you know, it was only... we're working on 51 to 52. We're not that deep in the weeds yet, shall we say. Like, the first few levels out here are always, you know, a little long but manageable. It's like once you hit 55, fuck it. Like, and then when you get to 57, it's like, dear God, why? Why? When will this madness end? But I did have 2 instances while working on the druid where I was so enraptured by the art tutorial I was watching on YouTube, I accidentally pulled 2 mobs on the bear druid, and both times one was a mob that did gore, and I'm like, fuck. I survived fairly okay. I mean, I hit a couple of cooldowns, but it was alright. And I could have kept trying to kill those gore mobs on the druid. I stuck to just the moths, but the horses that were doing the gore over in the level 60 area, they were giving about 770 XP. The moths were giving like 924. So I was kind of torn. I was like, do I want to waste the time killing these mobs that I definitely have to be on my toes for? Or that are also going to award less XP? Or do I just want to stay on the moths? I mean, there's only 10 level 60 moths in that loop. So, I mean, it's a little exhausting when there's only 10. But at the same time, they were the safer option. So I ended up just sticking with them. I mean, I don't know. I was in this weird mental place. I'm like, well, I mean, I could kill these. But these are gonna hurt me a lot more if something goes wrong. And, I mean, we could have added the turtles into the loop. Well, their snapping bite still snaps pretty good. And they were all orange, because, you know, level 57. Going after the 60s, so I didn't want to push my luck too much. And all that jazz. Alright. I still need to figure out how to set up the layout for the Dark Moon article, because I kind of want it to be like our other world event articles, but Dark Moon Fair is a little different. I don't know. I gotta... Maybe I'll look at Fire Festival and kind of use that as my pseudo template. I don't know. Decisions, when my mind would rather be doing other things. That's the way it always is, isn't it? Like, I'm committed to doing this article, but... Oh, we've got so much to do. I really want to get back into Minecraft. Got so much demo to do in there. I wonder how many stone picks we've gone through so far. I was using iron for a little bit, but... And I was like, we might need this iron later, so maybe I shouldn't. I really don't want to have to start a mine in another biome far away. I still haven't taken a photo of the damn paint by number that we're working on. So the paint by number we're working on off stream, because that will not fit in my camera setup. And I don't know where the USB extender cable is. I don't know. I don't have the money to buy another one. Might be on... Oh, nothing. I was, you know, if I tried to do the paint by number on camera, that's... Oh. It's so big, though. I would have to...
You'd have to have a better camera.
Yeah, I'd have to have a better camera, and I'd have to try to figure out how I'd need to set it up, because the bar I could potentially put it on, I wouldn't trust to work that well, because I'd have to, and I wouldn't be able to see chat either. That's a problem. Because my back would have to be to everything. So that would be a bit of an issue. Because my work surface is so small. I mean, ideally it would be awesome if I could have like a drafting table, art table sort of setup, and then have my PC on the other side of it where all I had to do was just turn the camera, but everything was still right there together, but different separate work areas. But that's not possible right now with the space that we have. So space and finances, it's not gonna happen. So we're so limited on space right now. I mean, we've got our lives pretty tightly crammed in here. What's that? Oh, you have a friend. That's the druid that we were seeing when I was working on down in front. Fascinating. Oh, we just missed the horse. That's alright. Let's see. Oh, we didn't need the horse. Wonderful. New passive effect. Infernal Strike. Infernal Strike damage increased by 25%. Infernal Strike. This one? No. What's Infernal Strike? Oh! Huh. Okay. So kind of like a charge, but not exactly. It's a leapy charge. Kind of like a warrior heroic leap, sort of. But you can direct it. Okay. I gotcha. Alrighty. So we've hit 52 on the Demon Hunter. Alright, let's go ahead and hearth back to Hero's Rest. Alrighty. So, WoW challenges, Bloodthirsty, Soul Glaive, Vengeance Demon Hunter. Sorry, my brain shut down there for just a second. I'm like, okay, now what? What was I supposed to be doing again? Things level 52. We're looking at a slash blade of 4 days, 13 hours, 4 minutes, and 24 seconds. Total kills. $6,638. Okay, I think those numbers match. Alright, so that is gonna get sent off to Twitter. Let's grab our vendor mounts. 6 gold repair bill. Alright, so we did pick up a few greens. let's do our vendor trash first. What's that? 120, 139. Alright, and let's go through our greens. Not a whole lot of greens, but you know, a few. And 221. So we've made back a little bit of money that we had to burn to get our gear. So, I mean, we'll see. And I did put food on her because she had so little. She doesn't really have a, excuse me, like a casty heal. She just has soul cleave, so I haven't had to use any of it yet. Alright, so let's pop on to the druid. We are gonna have time to hop on the working man. Although I'm only leveling the working man like a pacifist, so probably be kinda boring. Alright. So my working man is
You are seen.
currently level 40. I haven't had a chance to pop onto them. Since this weekend. Alright. I don't know why I'm just not hearth tier. We should be. I think I didn't bother because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to kill the level 57 mobs, but now that we can, we might as well. Sorry, I wanted to see something. Oh, they're bubble. Wait, are they bubbles? No, they're just little round things. Okay. Okay, sorry. All the times I was over here and it never really caught my eye till just then. I wanted a closer look. Alright, bear form has been activated. Now we have to remember to pull these guys back to avoid them so that I don't accidentally hit them with like swipe or something. That would not be a fun time, to say the least. And sometimes I can hit Skull Bash fast enough to interrupt Glitter Burst. Not all of the time though. Sometimes I don't notice it fast enough. And I don't even try, and I'm like, alright. Well, that's gonna happen. It hasn't been too bad damage-wise, whether I get that interrupted or not. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world if I don't move fast enough. And some of these guys, it's like non-stop glitter burst, and other times I only see it pop up once, so. We will have to see how that goes. Need to get a frenzied regen going though. A slumber powder, that's nice. We'll always take the slumber powder. That's going to be the high ticket item off of these moths. So sure, you can give me those all day long. They're worth a decent amount. And let's see. So these guys they're worth 16 gold apiece. So yeah, sure. I'll take those all day. All day, every day. Might as well, right? So I think if we switch over to the working man, I'm gonna have to put a title on it so people don't think you can be doing professions on a bloodthirsty. That would be awkward. Yeah, I wasn't gonna hit that in time. I bent down to scratch the back of my leg and lost my concentration. Alright. Come on, Monarch. What are you? Glimmerfly? So some kind of weird combination between a moth and a butterfly. Nope, that was not Glitter Burst. Shimmer Down can't interrupt. It's got the little shield doodle on it. So that one we're just gonna have to take on the chin. It's not terrible. And Glitter Burst itself isn't terrible, it just increases the damage that you're taking by a small amount. So, I mean, we can heal through it. It's not awful. But, you know, I guess any sort of damage that we can attempt to reduce is a good thing. Oh, I can't stop thinking about that Planet Zoo pack that's coming out. I'm so excited. I want it now. Can we have it now? Oh, and I saw that one of the Planet Zoo streamers, content creators that I had been watching came back to start playing again, so it's nice to see that they have started playing again. I'm not sure why they stopped for a while. They kind of alluded to something going on, but I don't know if it was in the community or I don't know if it was something around drama somebody else was trying to start. I don't know. Honestly, I don't care. Because I didn't follow, you know, the ins and outs and dramas between any of those creators, and I'm just happy that that someone who I could watch playing is back playing again. And it was nice to see. Hey, Goblin. What's up? How did Among Us go? I didn't think I hit that fast enough. My reaction time is not always the greatest. We just woke up. It was fun. Oh, that's good. Very good. Oh, come on. Get up the hill. Fuzzy bear butt. Very good. Yeah, I feel kind of bad that we're not doing anything today to celebrate, but celebrating takes money. I mean, I could make that brownie that we have. I have to see what the ingredients call for, though. I don't think I have it in me to make gingerbread cookies today. I'm too fucking tired. After the way these storms have been going on since 4:30 this morning. Right the time I was going to bed. No sleep for Nisey. It's very broken and disjointed. So I was looking up what even 15th anniversary traditional gift was supposed to be. And I would like to know who came up with these traditional gifts. Because I swear it seems like it was like some rich person's list of stuff. 'Cause 15... Yeah, it's our 15th wedding anniversary. We were married June 8th, 2007. And, like, year 15 is traditionally crystal. And I'm like, what? Crystal? What crystal-y gift would guys even want? I was just kind of like, what? That's weird, right? Like, I don't understand. Guys want crystal-y gifts? Like, maybe a crystal, like, I don't know. I was thinking, like what? Like crystal champagne flutes, crystal wine flutes? But even that's kind of, I don't know. Like, that would be more of a joint gift, right? Oh, thank you. Yeah, we were married on one of the beaches down in Key West, just the two of us, in the afternoon. I forget what time. Maybe around 3 in the afternoon, 2 or 3. I know it was fucking disgustingly hot because my dress was sticking to my legs because my legs were sweating so bad, so it was fun trying to walk in it. I can't remember which beach it was, though. I don't remember if it was Smathers or Higgs, but it was one of those. And yeah, it was just the two of us. Family drama was trying to kick up over it, so I'm just like, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. Everybody is trying to take the reins out of my hands for something that's supposed to be about us, and just piling on a shit ton of crap that I don't need to deal with, especially when we were paying for it ourselves and money was an object. So I was just like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was going with it to a point, and then one last thing just kind of pushed me too far, and I'm like, you know what? This is not even how I wanted to do this. So yeah. So we look much different than we did 15 years ago, but we're still kicking. Doesn't feel like it's been 15 years. I feel like we blinked. And we entered a void of I don't know what the fuck happened, and I don't even know, and it's like suddenly poof. I'm like, wait, it's been how long? No. That's ridiculous, but it has. Hell, the way things are today, and even making it 5 years feels like a fucking accomplishment. But, I mean, we didn't rush getting married at all. So we met in 99 online in an AOL chat room. And it went from, you know, trying to catch each other in said chat room with a couple other of people that we had kind of met with and had started out as talking as a group of people, and then it kind of dwindled down to just that group of people talking outside of that chat room in like a private group chat, and then from there, like, those people just kind of slowly vanished over time, and it evolved into just the two of us just private messaging each other. And I think, and then slowly we started doing phone calls to each other. Every so often, because, you know, long distance and all. And I don't even remember how long we talked in the chat room before we actually met each other. We were trying to figure that out last night, and neither one of us could fully remember. But I feel like it was either late 2000 or 2001. I can't remember. And we met face to face for the first time in Key West. I brought a friend and her boyfriend. He came mostly because he was the one that rented the car, because we weren't old enough to rent a car. Because in the state of Florida, you had to be like 23 at the time to rent a car, which I thought was weird, but okay. So my friend couldn't rent the car, and I was like, well, I don't know if we didn't know about the shuttle. I mean, we could have hired a car service to take us down there, but I think that would have been more than renting the car, and we thought, you know, safety numbers, so we're like, well, that's fine. Because, you know, never met somebody face to face before, and all that. And technically, I guess we met in the Fort Lauderdale airport, but we spent a week in Key West getting used to being in each other's presence, shall we say, because it's different typing behind a keyboard than it is being in someone else's face. You know, it was different. Cool. Level 58. So yeah, we spent a week there, and then Sorry, trying to do 3 things at once. And, and that was an interesting week because my friend and her boyfriend, she kept fighting with him. That was a whole drama-filled week that was already a bit stressful for the two of us, getting to be used to each other and getting to know each other better as friends at that point. And you know, we were kind of, you know, doing like the online boyfriend girlfriend thing, and it was becoming like more real, and we were you know, trying to figure out our own shit, shall we say. And so them fighting, or her starting fights with him, is what it really boiled down to, was a whole nother ass thing altogether that none of us really wanted to deal with. And that's a whole nother story. And so we went back home, and you know, we started to call each other a bit more, and we just kind of kept things going. And I think I went to go see him, 1 year for my birthday, and then he came up for Christmas. I can't remember if that was the same year or if it was a different year. I think it was a different year. And then I think that same year I went down to see him again. And then we got engaged when he met me at the airport that time. So we did the long distance thing for like, I feel like 3 years before we got engaged. Maybe? And then it was another 2 to 3 years before we actually got married, I think. So it was a pretty long it was a pretty long thing. Like, we definitely knew what we were getting into for the most part. You know, I mean, there's always things that pop up and happen, but we're still kicking. Bloodthirsty Soul Survivor. A Bear Druid. Dings level 58. 2 more levels to go on this one, you guys. So we've got a slash played of 7 days. 15 hours, 32 minutes, and 1 second. That 1 second. Total kills. 13,754. Alright. So we'll pop that off to Twitterland. And so, like I said, when it came time for us to actually get married, we had to pay for our honeymoon and the wedding itself, and then there was talk of, oh, well, let's do it here. We can have it at your aunt's house, or we can have the party at your aunt's house. And I'm like, I really don't want the party at my aunt's house. Number 1. Number 2, I really don't have that many people to invite. It would be like coworkers. That would be it. And not everybody can come because it's shift work at the casino. So, yeah. The entire department can't not be there. And it was gonna be weird. And so, like, the majority of the guests were going to be family, and I don't really associate with the family. They always made me uncomfortable, and never really liked anyone in the family enough to really associate with them. And then, like, Russell's family wasn't really going to be able to come. Because they didn't really have money to travel from... They were in Arkansas at the time now. He was originally from New Hampshire, but they had moved since then and things. So, vendor trash was $4.38. And, it felt weird that it was just being so heavily stacked with my family. And then the straw that broke the camel's back for me, and okay, well, two of them, my mom's side of the family are real big drinkers. And I'm like sitting there, and the people she's listing off to invite, and I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be like $500 in alcohol, easy. And I might have 2 wine coolers, like that would be it. And I'm like, I don't have money for this shit. And then my mom's like, oh, we can grill and do this. And I'm like counting it up in my head. I'm like, so now I have to feed like 50 people. Because that's what it would have ended up being, because everybody would have brought their kids and shit because, oh, free meal. And I'm just like trying to add up all of this money in my head, and I'm like, how are we gonna pay for this? Because, you know, money. And Russell and I don't have this kind of money. And then she's like, my mom's like, oh, and you have to invite so-and-so. And I'm like, why do I have to invite so-and-so? And she's like, because he's probably going to give you a lot of money. And I'm like, why would he give me money? Why would he give us money? I am nothing to this man. It was her ex-husband. And I'm like, there's no correlation here. Like, why? There's no point for him to be here. Like, I'm not his stepchild. I am not his child. I am a nothing to him. Like, what? That's dumb. And it was just becoming a whole ass thing. And at that point, I'm like, okay, just stop. Yeah, like, I don't even think Russell had ever met the guy. If he did, then I didn't explain who he was. If they had been in the same room, like, sometimes he would come over to the house, which I always thought was weird. But it was usually when dealing with an issue with one of the kids, like, because they had 3 kids together. But they were grown-ass kids at that point, so I'm like, this is still kind of weird. Yeah, it was bizarre, and I'm like, okay, hold up, back up, stop. I was like, I don't like being around a lot of people, number one. This is going to be a lot of people for the size space that it's going to be. Just no. So, 4, 5, 6, 7. So maybe 800, 700, somewhere around in there. We're gonna switch to the working man here. And I was like, if I'm gonna have to shell out for this, I'd rather spend the money on a honeymoon to get the fuck away from this place for a while, instead of being forced to do something I don't want to do for a day that's supposed to be about us. Russell doesn't know, like, all but 3 people in my family. And he's not real fond of those 3 people that he has met. So, and I can't say I blame him. So, you know, it seemed a bit much for... Sorry, I'm trying to find, there it is. We'll change this to bonus working man. Oh, and we can't really see that, can we? Not really. Let me change the color on that. I don't know if we're going to be able to see that. Let's... Yeah. Let's go with that. Alright, that should be good enough. Alright, so Russell and I were like, look, it feels weird to have it be all of my family, with his family not really being able to come. So, since we're already gonna have to deal with the awkwardness of his family not being able to come, we're just gonna make it so none of you get to come. 'Cause I'm mad now. We're gonna do what we wanted to do from the beginning. And, so we decided to get married where we met. It held a lot of meaning for us. And that's what we did. And we had a lovely time. And things worked out to do that because I had gotten a tip while we were putting the money away for everything, and we were planning everything. And that tip, because we could take tips in the department that we worked in the casino. We had to split it with whoever we were working with on that shift, but I was by myself. There was no other clerks, so I got to keep all of it. And that paid for our airfare, because some dude tipped me $200 and tipped our exec $200, but the exec wasn't allowed to take the tip, so she handed it to me. So I basically got a $400 tip. For setting this dude up with credit at like 5 a.m. and he won enough money to pay back his line of credit before he left, and he's like, here. I was like, oh shit. Okay, dude, thanks. And that paid for our airfare. And I'm like, cool. And just other things fell into place. I'm like, yeah, this is what we were supposed to do. Instead of being stressed out and dealing with a bunch of other people that I don't fucking want to be there. I mean, I haven't seen these people in like 5 years. They really don't give a rat's ass about me. They're just gonna show up for free food. That's all it is. Free food and beer. You know? No thanks. Not when I haven't talked to you in I don't know how long. And I really don't want to listen to stories about how, oh, you used to babysit me when I was 2. Don't you remember? And I'm like, or when you were, I used to babysit you when you were 2. I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to remember? I can't remember where I sat down my pen 2 minutes ago. Like, no, get the fuck out of here. Just no. So, this is the same route that I was running the pacifist through, down in front, and I was killing stuff on this one up to a point. Maybe level 15? And then I stopped, and I was like, yeah. Because people would say around 30, killing stuff on an iron would start to get a little dicey, if not impossible. So I'm still in the... I did replace the cape, or I added the cape, but I'm basically in the starting gear. I may have replaced that stuff. And, although maybe not. I don't remember. I'd been killing a few rares in Loch Modan, and I had been hanging out in Dunmorrow, mining copper and Peace Bloom, and Peace Bloom had been selling pretty good for a while, and then prices kind of tanked on Peace Bloom, and I was like, well, you know, let's come back out here This is one of the safest routes I have. So I turned Crommy time on before I even came out here this time, so I didn't have to go back. And, or I waited to level 30 when I got flying, that's what it might have been. And then I turned on Crommy, and then I just came out here. And we've been out here ever since. I have not picked a specialization. Your dad had a bunch of people he worked with years before invited to my sister's wedding. She wasn't thrilled with that, but he paid for it, so she didn't put too much. She didn't push too much unless it was going to affect someone she wanted there. Yeah, like, I probably would have been okay, but I had to pay for all of it. And that kind of burned my ass, because it's like, if I don't really want you here and I have to pay for it out of pocket, why am I being forced to do something I don't want to do? Like, this is supposed to be my thing. Yeah, it's tradition to do this. And I know my mom was kind of pissed, right? Because she didn't get to, the whole freaking reception, you had these people coming up to you, no clue who the fuck they were talking about, how they remembered when I was 2 years old. Yeah, it's like, why? It's like, I was 2. I was in the process of probably being potty trained and, you know, learning not to put toys in my mouth. So, no, I don't remember who you are, or that you babysat me for 3 hours on this date at this time of day, and that we had French fries and chicken nuggets. Like, no. Like, what are you even, do I know you? Like, who are you again? I'm sorry, what? You know, it's just so bizarre. Like, you haven't seen this person since. No, I don't remember you. I have sections of my brain set up for people that I like to be involved with, that are in my circle. If you never bother with me on the daily, then, yeah, no. Sorry. Brain makes room for other things. Except for the traumatic episodes. That it seems to like to remember a lot, but hey, what can you do? But yeah, I'm like, no, I'm paying for this. And I know that my mom was pissed. But it was kind of her fault. Because I was willing to go with it to a point. And then I just got pushed too far. And I'm just like, no. Apparently one of them mentioned it to my dad that I hadn't been very conversational, and he got a little pissy about it. And I was like, I have no fucking clue who that was. I'm not gonna tell them my life fucking story just because they once needed your approval to buy the company some fucking staple. Yeah, like what? Before we moved, like, I am so bad at putting names to faces, especially if I don't interact with you on a daily basis. If I interacted with you once, like, a year ago, and I haven't seen you since, I probably won't remember your face without some sort of prompting. It's just the way my brain works. There's so much chaos going on up there. There's only room for so much. And some stuff I just blank out entirely. And one of the rare times that my sister was interacting with me, and she took me to the mall. And I can't remember why she took me to the mall. For some reason, we were at one of the malls together before she disowned me. Verbally disowned me. Well, I guess written too. She did type it in an instant message, but we were walking to her car and somebody said, "Hey, how are you? How's your dad?" And I'm looking at her and I'm like, "He's okay." And they're like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm fine." And I was kind of standoffish and a bit cold. And I was like, "Well, I'll catch you later. I've got to go. I'm with this person." And they're like, "Okay, I'll see you around." I have no idea who the fuck it was. I got in the car with my sister and she's like, "Who the fuck was that?" I was like, "I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. It could have been 2 of 3 people. It could have been 1 of 3 people. 2 of 3 people. How does that work? It could have been 1 of 3 people. It could have been my brother's, my half brother's girlfriend. I don't know. Did they ever get married? No, they never got married. It could have been my half brother's girlfriend, so my nephew's mother. For a hot minute, I thought it was my dad's daughter from his previous marriage. But I never remembered meeting her, so I was kind of frozen. I'm like, who the fuck is this? And then the only other person who I was calling to mind that it could possibly be was like the last person who should have ever fucking talked to me, to be perfectly honest, because that person in my mind caused so much damage and such chaos and harm to a situation that had been going on that I can't really get into here. But if it was the third person, and it's very likely it was this third person, I was just absolutely floored. I was just like, wait, what? Now, I had a pretty decent, how to word this, acquaintanceship with them, because they worked for a long time at the company where my dad worked at the time. My dad had worked for that company for like 15, 20 years or something. And there was plenty of times where school let out early or something, and he had to drag my ass back with him to work. And so I'd be stuck sitting at his desk that he never used, because he was always on the sales floor and stuff, like doing homework or being bored out of my skull because, you know, it was an auto supply store. So there really wasn't anything for me to do. Or there'd be some Saturdays where I'd have to go in with him, and like I'd be the whole day in one of the upper offices where the secretaries were, just to keep me out from underfoot or something. But so she worked there, and if it was in fact her, just damn, just ugh. She had a lot of nerve, put it that way, because at that point in time, she had done some things to cover her own ass. At least I believe she did. And just, holy hell. But we can't go back and undo things, right? So, your favorite was some old lady who stepped out on the patio where your brother-in-law and you were having a cigarette and doing a couple of shots of Jack Daniels and started lecturing me on how disappointed she was with me for indulging in such horrible and harmful vices, and to this day you have no clue who that old bat was. I'd be like, ma'am, it's a wedding. It's a wedding where people I haven't seen in years and probably don't necessarily get along with, I have to be in the same room with them. So, you know, I'm gonna do what I have to do to get through this next couple of hours. You're more than welcome to head on back inside, so you don't have to see or be knowledgeable any longer about what I may or may not be doing out here. You have a good day. Thanks for coming. Just, yeah, it was bad enough the one year, like, oh, my neck's all locking up. The one year, oh, what the fuck was it? It was some function. Was it somebody's birthday? Was it somebody else's baby shower? Wedding? No, it was a Christmas party. My aunt would have these Christmas parties, right? That I had to go to. There was no getting out of it. The one year, I can't remember if Russell came or not. I feel like he did, because we got the fuck out of there and walked back to the house, because my aunt's house wasn't that far from our house. And I did not want to go. I was forced to go. And I'm like, I know nobody here. Why? Why? And, my mom's like, oh, just come for like a half an hour and then you can leave. And I'm like, I watched the clock the entire time. I was like, okay, I gotta go. There were neighbors that had been invited. Okay? Neighbors of my aunts. They're like, oh, you probably don't remember me, do you? And I'm like, if you have to ask that or say that statement, the answer is probably no. As I look at you with a totally blank, soulless look in my eyes. No. No, I don't remember you. Should I? Is there a reason to? Oh, we used to watch you sometimes. Fascinating. Please tell me how many times you had to change my diaper, please. Like, I'm just like, why? Do people need to bring this shit up? Who cares if you watched me when I was 2 or 3? Nobody gives a flying fuck. Like, the family is so huge. I couldn't tell you who was a neighbor and who was a family member unless they specifically told me to my face. Because my mom had, I don't even know who the fuck was married in or who the fuck was actual sibling. 1, 2, 3. Like, I think my mom had at least 4 other siblings. And then all of them had kids. Yeah, my 1.5-year-old memory will suddenly kick in 20 some odd years later and recall that you did in fact babysit me. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I didn't even know how to spell or what the fuck was going on. But yeah, I totally remembered that you babysat me. Yeah, totally. 100%. Just absolute craziness. And of course they have to bring up like the most embarrassing shit, and it's just like, do I even know you? So yeah, I think my mom had 4 other siblings that all got married, and they all had multiple kids. And then those multiple kids had multiple kids. So I couldn't tell you who's actually family and who's not. And that's just on my mom's side. Apparently, well, I mean, my dad had a brother. And him and his wife had some kids. Like a bunch of kids. But we never really interacted. Like, the family was so disjointed. And I think I hated all of them because I never felt like there was a place for me. I was the divorced kid, okay? So, this side, my mom's side of the family, we're all like super close with my half siblings from her first marriage, okay? And my grandmother on my dad's side was super close with my dad's my brother from my dad's previous marriage and his kids, and then my uncle on my dad's side and his kids. But I never really fit into the puzzle, shall we say. I was like the extra piece in the puzzle box that you're like, what the fuck do I do with this? There's no space for this. Just a random bonus extra piece because like people just didn't know what to do with me. But I think there was also some shit that went down before I was born from the vague stories I've heard that would kind of make sense to things. Like, people would, you know, deal with me and interact with me, but it wasn't the same. It was bizarre. It's hard to describe unless you've been through it. It's very strange to be like, oh, well, you're buddy-buddy with this person, and, you know, you're hugging and kissing and laughing and, you know, talking about all the crazy shit that you guys would do. Maybe it's because I was so much younger. I don't know. It was very strange. Like my half-sister on my mom's side was like 13 years older than me. So it was just very bizarre. I will say, I will never forget. I'll never forget this. And it's probably terrible of me to say that I will never forget this and that I seem to get such a great pleasure out of it. But my half sister was on my mom's side was a bit of a vain. I don't know if I would call her a narcissist, but she was very vain. One hair couldn't be out of place. I wasn't allowed. It felt like I wasn't allowed to be seen out in public with her unless she dressed me and approved of what I was wearing and put makeup on me and did my hair and basically made me look like a mini her. Okay? It was kind of creepy. She had talked my mom into letting me go to Florida with her at one point. But she would only take me if my mom would watch her cats while we were away or something. there was a whole story to that too. And while we were down there, we were doing some shopping, and we were in one of the stores, and I decided to get something, and she wasn't gonna get anything. And I was finishing up putting my change away, and the dude at the counter who rang me up, he's like, "Oh, is that your mom?" And I almost died laughing. He goes, "You guys look so much alike." And I was like, "Oh no, that's my sister." And he was like, "Oh," and I was laughing my head off because I was like, somebody thought she was old enough to be my mom. And I just thought that was like the greatest thing ever. And I came out of the store laughing my head off. And she goes, "What's so funny?" And I'm like, "That guy thought you were my mom." The look on her face. It was fucking priceless. I was just like, wow. Like, that was great. That was absolutely great. I couldn't believe it. She was mortified, but, oh, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But, yeah, like, I don't really interact with the family, never really did, and the few times that I was forced to, no one was really welcoming when I was forced to go to family events, and, I didn't understand why I was being forced to go, because I felt very much shunned, so, like, nobody really talked to me, unless they came up to, like, talk to my mom. And it was always my mom's side of the family events. It was very strange. I don't know. Just very, very strange dynamic that had been going on there. But once I started to get old enough to put my foot down about, "I'm not going. You can't make me go," then I didn't have to go to that bullshit anymore. And then, of course, when I started working overnights at the casino, that was the final nail in that coffin, because everybody had their parties either when I was asleep for work or when I was leaving for work. So I'm like, "Oh, darn, look at that. I have to work tonight. Sorry. Not really. But you don't pay my bills." Like, and the women in the family, the women that had kids in the family, kept trying to get me to babysit for them. And I'm like, "I'm sorry, what? You seem to have me terribly, terribly confused with someone else. I never offered to babysit for you. I never showed interest in wanting to babysit for you. The last time I babysat was for my nephew, one of my nephews. And he was teething at the time, crying his head off. And I'm trying to walk the floor with him to calm his ass down. And he leaned over. Actually, at this point, he wasn't crying. I was just holding him on my hip, and he was just kind of chilling. But he was teething. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I had a short sleeve shirt on. He leaned over and bit my upper arm for no fucking reason and started crying. And I'm like, "Okay, I'm done. I'm done." I was like, "Mother, take this child. I'm done. I'm not babysitting anymore. You can babysit." I think I was supposed to be helping her babysit. I don't think I was actually the babysitter. I was like, "Nope, you're on your own. I just walked in from work and I have a small child biting me. No, I'm done. Sorry." And yet they all kept trying to get me to babysit for them. I'm like, no. I was like, people, no. I work all damn day. At that time I was working at the craft store. And I was on 9 to 5 at that point in time. Yay, one ding down. Let's go for another one. We're just bullshitting here. What the hell? Nobody's buying the damn life root. I'm gonna have my entire bag full of that soon. Yeah, I was working 9 to 5, I think, at the craft store. At the time. And... Wait, no I wasn't. No I wasn't, because it was around the time my brother passed away. So, no, I was on grave shift. Not grave shift. I was on, closing shift. And, for some reason, we had to be over my sister's, and a bunch of the other girls were over there. I don't know if it was somebody's baby shower. I don't fucking remember. And, they're just going, I'm like, you all do realize that I get 2 days off a week, and it's in the middle of the week, right? And they're split days off. I get a Tuesday off, and I get a Thursday off. And I have to do my own errands on those days. I need to go grocery shopping, I need to do laundry, I need to do things, because I think our washer wasn't working at the time, or the dryer, one of them, and we had to go to the laundromat, and that was like a whole ass expedition. Of a time void that we just lost because we had to sit there with the clothes. And I was just like, I work on the weekend. The times that you want my ass to babysit for you so you can go out and do shit, I'm working. Okay? I am working. Like, I don't get the luxury to not do this. Trust me, I would rather not be in the craft store on a Saturday with the entire store filled with screaming children because they can't have that thing and they're just having meltdowns left, right, and center, and then dealing with lines and cranky management and making sure the kids that are under 18 are going to break on time, and then dealing with all of the other bullshit that happened on the daily in there. I'm just like, no. They're like, oh, well, you could do it after work. They're like, what time do you get done on Saturday? I'm like, I get done at 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, if I'm lucky. And then I have to catch the bus home. And the bus doesn't come till like 4-ish, because I missed the 3-ish bus because I don't have time to get to the bus stop. So no, that's not happening. So I don't, and then I have to change buses to get home. So I might get done at 3, but I don't actually get home till like 5:30 if I'm lucky, depending on how busy the buses are, because it was one of the main buses that came out of our mall. And sometimes they had to double bus that route. If the one bus was full, it wouldn't stop. So then you had to wait for the next one. That was not fun at all. That really sucked. So, especially when I had been up since like 6 a.m., 5:30, because I had to be at the store at 7.
Your mom needs me to take her to Walmart.
You went to Walmart this morning.
I know.
Why? What's wrong?
She needs to go to Walmart. She wouldn't go while it was storming.
You could have dropped her at the door.
I could drop her at the door right now. If I come back alone, you know why. Be right back, Eileen. I'm gonna find a place to park.
Oh, Lord.
Ring, ring. Dean, where's her
I don't fucking know.
He dropped me off, we went to park, and he never came back. It's been 3 days. Oh.
Don't forget your wallet.
I already have it.
Alright. Oh my word. Sorry, no, yeah, there's more to that interaction that just happened there. But yeah, it's like, no, I'm not babysitting for you. And then they're like, what about Sundays? I was like, some Sundays I have to work from 7:30 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night if it's a special sale weekend. No, I'm not babysitting for you. How many times do I have to say no? Leave it the fuck alone. Go find, like, don't you have a babysitter? Like, what the hell? Just because I'm a female in this family doesn't mean I am obligated to babysit for you. Like, what the fuck? So, Russell ended up getting up. I don't know what time. 10:30? 11? Something like that. And I didn't know that we were like out of bread last night when we ran to the super center to get the stuff to make his candy that he wanted to get with his half of the money my parents gave us. And or else we would have gotten a loaf of bread then. So this morning, Russell gets up, and I had gotten up before him because I had to go to the bathroom, and I was checking on the storm status and everything, making sure we weren't under any kind of warnings or anything. And I woke up, and he's dressed, which I thought was odd. And he's like walking around the bedroom, and I'm like, what's going on? What are you doing? He goes, I have to go to Walmart. And I was like, oh, it's like, oh, right, you need to get your pills. You called them in the other day and we haven't picked them up yet. He goes, yeah, and I have to get your parents' medication too while I'm there, apparently. And your mom didn't leave me any bread for breakfast, so I need to get a loaf of bread too. And I'm like, kind of looking at him, I'm like, right. So I gotta go to Walmart. And it was like thundering and lightning. I was like, please be careful. And he's like, yeah. So apparently he also dropped our rent money in the bank, and I was like, okay. So I fell back asleep and woke up when he came in, and he had a bunch of bags in his hand, and I was really confused because I was half asleep because he didn't say anything about getting anything else. And I'm like, and at that point I didn't realize that he had dropped the rent money off at the bank, and I was just kind of watching him carry these bags, and I'm like, where the fuck did all that come from? I thought you were getting a loaf of bread. And I was just too tired to contemplate at that point, and I'm like, fuck it. So I turned over and went back to sleep. And when I finally did wake up enough to converse with him, he's like, so yeah, when I had to go earlier, I grabbed a couple of the things that I remembered that you said that we needed. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, you know that wasn't everything, right? Like, we still need to stop in there. He goes, yeah, I know. He goes, but at least I got some of it already. And I was like, all right. Well, apparently just now she's like, I need to go to Walmart. He's like, I was just there this morning. She didn't want to go because it was storming. I was like, you could have dropped her off at the door. You weren't going to make her walk through the parking lot while it was lightning. And there might have been a couple of slowdowns in between. Like, I don't know what the fuck she needs from Walmart that she has to have right this minute. Like, she could have given us a list to pick it up tomorrow, because tomorrow we have to try to go to Sam's at some point. So tomorrow's stream might start a little bit late. I don't know what time. Depends on what time I'm able to drag my ass out of bed for us to go to Sam's. So Just a heads up there. But we're just doing Parkitect tomorrow, so... I'm gonna start a new Parkitect campaign tomorrow, actually. Yeah, it was very strange. So... I'm just floored that... I'm like, why didn't she just even give you a list this morning to get it for her? She's done that before. I'm so confused. I don't know. I don't know. But I've been slowly driven mad with all of the things lately, because for some reason she's on this kick where they have to have like a 3-course breakfast. And then they have like a 3-course dinner. And I'm like, I kid you not, I did dishes and finished them at like 4:30 in the morning the one day. It was like a couple days worth of dishes because I hadn't been feeling well, and I finally just kind of knuckled under and got them done because I knew we had some storms coming up and I didn't want them sitting. And I got up. These dishes were done at 4:30 in the morning. I got up around 2. Both sides of the sink were overflowing with dishes. I was like, what the motherfuck? I was pissed. I was like, Russell. He goes, don't look at me. He's like, this pan and this bowl are me. He goes, that's it. I was just like, oh my god. It's okay. The other night, I got the dishes done early because I had some other stuff to do, and I'm like, I really don't feel like doing this. And I just kind of was like, nope, we're doing this now, because if you sit down, you're not coming back. And so I got them done. Both sides of the sink were completely clear. I was like, good, now I can go and dick around and worry about other shit. And I came back out. No, did we go for a walk? No, I did them when we came back from our walk. I don't know, I was doing something in the bedroom, and I came back out, and Russell followed me, and I froze, and I just started making noises at the sink, and he goes, what? And he goes, are you serious? And I was like, motherfucker. I cleaned the sink, and then in the process of, I guess, the hour since I had finished dishes, my mother somehow added 2 more dishes to the sink, and I was like, no, I'm not living in this kitchen. I'm not. So mad. I was so mad. So I have to do the dishes. My mom's not allowed to do the dishes anymore because she can't see that very well. Or she can't see that very well. She can't see very well. There we go. I add an extra word in there. And so, like, stuff was getting stuck to, like, every piece of silverware and the plates, and I was having to rewash it anyway, and I'm like, this is dumb. So, and Russell, like, wants stuff, or needs stuff, like, washed in a certain way for his issues, and, he will help about 10% of the time when he's able to, but the other 90% is mostly me. And the mother-in-law is not allowed to do dishes anymore because she was having stuff stuck all over them, and we were having to rewash everything that she washed. So it's just this never-ending bullshittery, and I'm just like, god damn it. He's been helping a little bit more the past couple of days, but it's only when his anxiety allows him. So most of the time it's me, and I just get so fed up. I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it. Unless I absolutely have to. But yeah, with the storms the past few late nights, early mornings, I kind of had to get it done, so there was cooking stuff for later in the day. I'll tell you, it's like a full-time job just doing the dishes that my mom creates. I'm kind of glad the mother-in-law's not here right now, because she makes more dishes than my mom does, and I don't know how. But whenever she cooks, it's twice the mess. I'm just like, how? You've destroyed the kitchen. Alright, so where are we at here? We are up to 95 ore. What's this? Well, that's the steel I made. Steel started selling better than the iron. So I made a bunch of steel, and then the steel stopped selling. Alright, so don't forget, Darkmoon Fair is in town. For, those that can partake. Obviously, Bloodthirsties can't. I wouldn't even risk doing the quest to get the bag. I just wouldn't. It's because you never know what quest is going to count for more than one quest, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but we have found out, or Stone found out, when he was still playing, he had been leveling a Bloodthirsty Challenger, and he turned in the riding quest by accident. Didn't think anything of it until he found himself red flagged. Come to find out, the one quest about learning to ride counted for like 12 quests or something, and we were like, what? That one quest turning in gave him credit for like 12 other quests. It was ridiculous. Weren't really sure what the hell that was about, but okay. It did, so pick your quests wisely. I mean, you have those 4 quests before you get a yellow flag thrown, but I wouldn't even risk it, because, you know, there's some areas and some zones where you'll get a phantom daily quest credit just from flying through it. So you definitely want to test your grinding areas with a scout and your travel routes with a scout, especially in certain areas in BFA. I will say, now that we have the mall skip, we don't have to worry about that phantom daily credit that was being handed out in the mall. Sorry, I thought that jumped me into the air. So I mean, that's one good thing, but yeah, I mean, Blingtron counts as a quest. It's a daily quest, but does count against your totals, so you can't do those on the Bloodthirsties either. But, I mean, your pacifists can go and do Darkmoon Fair. Working Man can go do Darkmoon Fair. They're probably going to be the 2 that get the most out of it. Your others, aside from Bloodthirsty, they can go. They can at least get their bag. Can probably do those little dungeon doodle turn-ins if you can find them on Auction House. I mean, you obviously can't go and get them from the dungeon yourself, but you know, you can buy them off Auction House if you have the funding to do so. Sometimes you can catch them really cheap, other times not so much. Alright. So I have an idea. Oh, what did we miss? There it is. So I have an idea for a tissue paper art project, because I still have a bunch of tissue paper. I don't know if I have enough glue, but I definitely have enough tissue paper. I don't know if I have the stretched canvas to do that one though, so that one might have to wait. But I was also thinking of doing a gouache version of it as well. So I dug out my gouache, and it's dried out, but it's not moldy, so that's good. Oh no, I really wanted squeakers. So we can do that. I mean, I really should try to do some watercolor stuff. I have a whole bunch of watercolors. I just haven't done anything with them. Because for some reason, they just seem so fucking scary to me. I'm actually intimidated by them. I shouldn't be. Of all the shit that I've done, you would think like the sharp pointy objects would be more intimidating to me. The wood burning would be more intimidating to me. Although I am a little intimidated by the wood burning. I gotta be really careful because my clumsy ass. Okay, so here's the thing. I accidentally, because I wasn't paying attention when I went to get my flying, I accidentally bought the training for the faster ground mount. And whenever I accidentally do that, I always kick myself in the ass over it. Because that second speed ground mount goes faster than the shit respawns in my loop. So I'll be running past a node location, and like 15 steps away, then it's respawning. And I'm like, really? And I hate doubling back. So I either have almost an entire loop where nothing's there, unless it's a spot that hadn't spawned in on the last time through, or I've got stuff spawning as I'm running past it and have to double back. So my tip would be, don't get the increased mount speed on your working man or your pacifist if you plan on doing a lot of gathering. So back to the anniversary stuff. So we actually got married during Pride Fest. We didn't know it was Pride Week until we were already down there, and that was fine. It didn't matter to us. Like, what the fuck ever. But the only reason I bring it up is that now our wedding anniversary... Actually, I think Pride Week in Key West ended on the 5th, but at the time this year, last time, like, it was in the middle of the week, the way the dates fell. But I'll tell you, don't get married during a festival or a special event, or where that's taking place in the area that you want to revisit sometime again on your honeymoon. 'Cause it's the prices. Holy shit. The prices are fucking astronomical. Like, they were not that much the first time, like when we got married 15 years ago. Now, I know a lot of things can change price-wise in 15 years, but I couldn't even find hotel rooms available like 6 months out for the week that I mean, not that we have the money to go, but I was trying to get an idea of prices. But like, every fucking hotel was booked. I'm like, how is this possible? And the couple of rooms that were available, holy shit. Like, they jack the prices during certain times of the year down there. And Usually it's only during holidays or special events, but good grief, Charlie Brown. Like, I think when we got married, our hotel room might have been at the most $150. I think it was $130, to be perfectly honest. But it could have been upper end of $150. I don't think I would have paid more than that at the time. Because even that seemed like a lot to me, but I was like, well, it is a special occasion. And, we were just staying in a bed and breakfast. It wasn't anything grand. It wasn't one of their luxurious resorts or anything down there. But I have not been able to find an open hotel room for like even 6 months out. And then the ones I was finding were like $400 a night, and I'm like, oh no, we ain't got that kind of money. Like, what do you think this is? No, fuck no, absolutely not. It was bad enough we paid as much as we did at the vacation rental when we went down in 2018, but we needed a pet-friendly vacation rental, and we went vacation rental because all of the hotels, the way they were charging the pet fee was a little much. Places that had openings, because the dogs came with us, so places that had availability were charging $50 per pet, and some places were only accepting one, and it was just a lot. And I was like, oh wow. The place that we ended up was like $50. Was it $50 per night? Was it $50 for the week? I think it was $50 for the week. For both of them. Like, total. And so that was a little bit easier to handle. But we also needed to be close to the main street where everything was, because we didn't know how much walking the mother-in-law was going to be up to doing, and we couldn't walk that far because little dogs, and we didn't think we didn't think we would need like a doggy stroller. Turns out we kind of did. Or like a doggy wagon that had a enclosure on it to keep them from jumping out. Because Zuzu ended up walking too much and was limping halfway through the trip. He wasn't used to that much exercise. But, it was expensive. It was $350 something or $370 something, but the location was worth it. These other places, it ain't worth it, and we don't have the dogs with us, so I'm like, you're kidding me. I did see some other vacation rentals that were a little more reasonable. So if we try to go back for our anniversary some year, we might have to lean that way. And I was looking on these hotels' websites directly, because I've heard stories about people booking through TripAdvisor or like Travelocity or Priceline and getting there, and then they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. We don't have a hotel reservation for you. And we're booked solid. We have no rooms. So I don't want that horror to happen. So I'd rather book directly with the hotel. And sometimes you do get a better deal booking directly with the hotel anyhow. But I just couldn't believe how many effing hotels were booked solid, and I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. Because the one place that we stayed at the last time, we loved the location. And I keep looking them up, and they keep saying, oh, 15% off between these dates, between like your midweek stay, between this month and this month. And I'm like, that's great and all, but you don't have a fucking opening, so how the hell am I supposed to book a room? If in the past 6 months, every month I've checked, as far out as you're taking reservations, it says nothing available. Like, how? It may also be the fact that we're trying to stay for a week, and some people apparently have been staying at the vacation rental that we liked, like 2 nights here, 3 nights there. So the way the rooms are available, or the times they're available, is very strange. And like, our travel dates would be a little bit flexible, but like, I don't want to change rooms in the middle of our stay either. I'm like, why can't we just stay for a whole ass week somewhere? It was so dumb. So dumb. And there were some places available on the hotel chain side of the island. It's a very small island. But then we run into the issue of, with Russell's anxiety, he doesn't want to wait for a shuttle bus to take us from the hotel, or wait for a cab from the hotel over to down to where everything is. So, you know, fair enough. And we'd be driving down there, so I mean, we'd have the car, we could drive over to one of the lots, but the lots were anywhere between $20 to $50 for 8 hours. And I'm like, ugh. Right. And then some of the hotels and bed and breakfasts don't have parking available because a lot of people fly in. And you don't, like, you can get around on, like, I'm not going to say you don't need a car. You need a car for some things. Depends on what you're doing. But depending on where you're staying, you might not necessarily need a car. Where we stayed, we parked the car and never moved it. Which was nice, because it was, like, right in front of our unit. And parking was included with our stay. Some other places, it's, if you see something on the street, it's first come, first serve. But a lot of the parking around this place is by residential permit only, so good luck. There is a city parking lot, or city parking garage, but it's like a 15-minute walk that way. And I'm just like, right, sure. And I don't know how much the city garage was. We haven't had to park in it, so I don't know. Parking's a slight issue. And getting around's a slight issue. I mean, I would love to stay at the DoubleTree down there. It looks beautiful. And we liked the DoubleTree in Orlando that we stayed at very much. That was great. But, you know, it's on the wrong side of the island. We can't walk to the shit that we want to walk to. And I do hate waiting around for a shuttle bus when you just want to go do your thing. I hate being on someone else's schedule. Especially when I'm on vacation. It's like, I just want to go do what I want to do. I mean, the cabs down there weren't that expensive, but... And for some reason, the shuttle buses from one of the hotel chains only ran until like 4 or 5 o'clock. And I'm like, really? I guess they didn't want people being drunk in the shuttle. Because, like, things don't really start happening down there till like later in the evening. I was kind of surprised by that, but I mean, I guess I can see it. Because, I mean, people can get pretty shit-faced down there. There's like a bar on every corner, just about. Not hard to get shit-faced down there. I mean, hell, even CVS and Walgreens were selling alcohol, so it's like, okay, sure. You bet. But, I was actually surprised. Now, when we went and we paid the $3-something a night, that was, like, coming into Fantasy Fest, so that price was actually pretty decent coming into, the start of a holiday event activities, so I was kind of surprised at that. All right. But it's on our list. Maybe for our 20th anniversary or 25th we can get back there. We'll see. We'll see what life throws at us. There's a lot that could happen between now and then. And, you know, we'll just have to figure it out. Because I also want to get back to, there's a lot of places that we want to go see. There's several zoos we want to go visit. Several aquariums we want to go see. Like, I want to see the Atlanta Aquarium. I've heard good things about that. If we're going to be in Atlanta, we might as well check out the zoo that's there while we're there. 2 different people have told me to go check out the St. Louis Zoo. So that looks interesting. There is an aquarium in St. Louis, but some people are like, yeah, don't bother. But I don't know. The Omaha Zoo looks to have an aquarium in it, or on the same property as part of it. That looks fascinating. I would love to see that sometime. And we'd like to see the Oklahoma City Zoo at some point. I've heard a couple of people suggest the 2 zoos near Dallas. Don't know if we would venture into Texas. We'll have to think about that. I mean, we may at some point. Don't know. Depends, really. On a lot of things. Yeah, I wanna see the Clearwater Aquarium in St. Pete's. There's a zoo in Tampa I want to see. I don't know if we would do Busch Gardens. Neither one of us can really do the rides. So I don't know if it would be worth it, if we would get enough out of the ticket price. I mean, if the ticket price was cheap enough, maybe, but it feels weird to go to a park that has rides and not get on any of the rides. You know, it feels like you're kind of screwing yourself over on the amount that you're paying to go in. But I don't know. Don't know. Where was it? We were talking about going somewhere else. Was it Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge? One of those. Maybe Gatlinburg. we were talking about going to sometime. At least for a couple of days. Eventually. Like, we have this hypothetical list of places we would like to go see. Probably won't ever get to go to any of them, but we have a hypothetical list. Because you never know. You never know. And sometimes it's fun for me to sit there and try to figure out, well, where would we stay? How much would it be to stay here or there? And try to work out a hypothetical ballpark price. I mean, you'd never have it nailed down to the penny depending on how far out you were planning it. Because, you know, hotel taxes and shit can fluctuate, and gas prices will fluctuate, and all that sort of thing. But sometimes it's kind of nice to get an idea of how much we would be looking at to see how realistic it is to maybe make X, Y, or Z happen. And how much saving up we would need to do. So when it started to storm this morning, the outdoor cat showed up and was just staring us down. And we're like, buddy, you can't come in. We feel bad, but you literally can't come in. So we have this table that's about to fall apart sitting on our front porch that we really need to get rid of, and we just haven't had the opportunity to get rid of it yet. And he was sitting under it, just staring at the front door like, you bastards, let me in. And I'm like, we can't let you in, bud. Number one, I don't know if you've ever even seen a vet and had any shots whatsoever. And we have other catos in here that we don't want to get sick. Number two, we have 3 male cats in here, and you're a male cat, and you're very territorial of our yard as it is. I don't want to bring you in and have you be starting shit in the house. 'Cause, you know, we ain't doing that. We've already had a couple of cat fights with this cat and another cat that likes to show up from time to time to have a snacky. So I can't. If we didn't have any other cats, then maybe we would see about scraping the cash together to get him to the vet and get him fixed and whatnot. Because they do a low-cost cat fixie clinic like once a month or so for the town. But I can't. Wow, that one really blended in, didn't it? But I can't bring him in with the amount of cat that we have right now. That's just not happening. I think I had too much watermelon last night. My tongue is so sore today. Oh my goodness. Why? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Alright, so we got a couple more bars to go, and then we'll probably call that a day. So my neck is trying to lock up something terrible, and I don't know why. It was fine when I got up. It just, all of a sudden while we were sitting here, I guess I moved wrong. I suppose. That's how that usually goes, right? So I get my neck troubles are never ending. Oh, goodness. Oh. I gotta go make dinner soon, actually. I am starving. Probably should have stopped on the last level ding, but... But we didn't. And I'm skipping all of this strangle kelp, because I don't feel like swimming through the water to go get it. And I'm not entirely sure there's nothing in the water that's gonna get me. I'm not convinced. Oh my goodness, really nothing? Alright, there's an earth root. I really wish I could go back and unlearn this flying speed. Can that be a thing? Can we undo that? Because this is terrible. I'm so mad. I probably could have gone out to Sholazar to get Serenite. I don't know if the Serenite's selling any better at the moment. Probably not. Excuse me. But, there's a lot more hostile mobs out there. A lot more things can go wrong out there, so... So I opted for here. That one's a little questionable. There's a couple of hostile mobs that hang out up there. Definitely not going back in there. Let's see. This one over here just hasn't been spawning. Sometimes there's an ore node that sits over there. It's been kind of non-existent this time out. But we only have got 3 bars to go. I've got so much life fruit. Somebody buy this life fruit, please. We're up to 1,914. Ugh. My little flower bag's almost full. I should have done that on the pacifist, really. I should have gotten a mining bag and a flower bag. It would have saved me some time digging through my bag. I didn't really think about it for some reason. The thought just didn't cross my mind. I'm not sure why it didn't, but it just didn't. Alright, sounds like the husband's back. And it sounds like he's back with my mother. It doesn't sound like he left her there. Oh, goodness. Alright, so let's see, we got another one here. So we're getting there. Slowly, but we're getting there. So is anything gonna spawn in? Nothing? Wow, nothing, huh? This is gonna be a long couple of bars here if nothing starts spawning in. Alright, well, there's something. Alright, so this one's fairly consistent, like over in here. I know that's not the same exact one, but it's something. So 1, 2, 3, maybe 6 to 7 nodes to go, roughly. It also doesn't help that Big Ugly is up, so there's a life root node right near his feet. And while I know I'm allowed to kill him, I don't necessarily think I'm able to kill him, especially since I didn't take a spec. I was like, well, I'm just gonna be like basically treating this as a pacifist at this point from here on out. So I don't necessarily need a spec to just go pick shit, right? So I have been seeing some concerns about people talking about the talent trees, the way how they're going back to not exactly the old style, but similar to the old style with your points and all, and some abilities being put on the tree that would be taken out of your toolbox. We'll see what happens. That's what beta testing's for. That's what the test team will be investigating. We'll find out.
The childhood sadness in the fridge is actually your parents. They're gonna try it.
Can you put their name on it so I don't accidentally grab it?
Yeah.
Did they get the pepperoni or the cheese?
There wasn't an option for pepperoni.
Okay, so it was just the Super Center.
Yeah, just the Super Center had that.
Sorry. Yeah, that's a inside joke between me and Russell, so. Oh my goodness, I think I scratched the back of my neck and something got pissed. 'Cause my shoulder is going stiff up into my neck on the one side. Holy crap. Oh, that sucks. Don't get old, guys. Don't be old with injuries. I am certainly not aging gracefully. We might need to get the heating pad out.
Uh-oh. What'd you do?
Or at least some muscle rub. I don't know what I did.
What hurts?
My neck. It's locking up.
Might be just side effect of the weather and everything.
I don't know. Like, I may have caused this by accident.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, as I'm sitting here, I went to turn my head and I'm like, ow.
I will admit my neck's starting to hurt. Like I said, it might be weather-based. Because it's moving out and tomorrow's supposed to be clear and then it's supposed to come right back in. Yeah. Hi, Miser.
This yo-yo weather is getting crazy. Alright, could you go turn the oven on for me, please? 400. Thanks. My goodness gracious. I don't know. I usually respond better to ice than heat, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta see if I can find an ice pack. My one shoulder ice pack I had to throw away because it leaked. I couldn't find the spot where it leaked from, but it was suddenly a lot flatter than it had been. And we couldn't figure out what the hell happened. But something happened to it on the last run where my back went out. So, I don't know. But we had to get rid of it. It lasted a few years. So I guess that's something. But I guess we'll find out. No. We're not going on an underwater expedition. So let's not do that. We only need a couple more here. Or maybe one more. Where are you? Which crevice? You're in this crevice. Is that gonna ding us? No. Okay, so we do need one more. Alright, let's see if we can find one more. I feel like since nothing was spawned up here the last time through, something should be this time. Just the one? No, there's another one. Alright. There's our ding. What is this? Master spell. Alright, so I really haven't taken that many screenshots of this one. Oh, I don't even have the selfie cam. Alright, well, I mean, we can take it without the selfie cam. Just means we need to find the right keys. Oh, she's staring off vacantly in the horizon. Let's see. There's my screenshot key. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. Alright, so we can crop that down. Alright, so we can go WoW, challenges, working man. Dings level 42. Alright, I'm not gonna bother with slash plate on that. We'll hearth back, so let's see, who can we go visit today? I don't know, who are we gonna go visit? Oh, I have no idea. I think Russell's talking to one of the dogs. Alright, so let's see. Alright, we can go visit Twisted, I guess. Oh, I forgot that my hearth was in Lochmodan. Or not Lochmodan, Dunmorrow. That's fine. Alright, so let's go see, Twisted. They are playing something. I just saw it. Was it Friday the 13th? Something like that. We'll be back again tomorrow for Parkadect at some point in the afternoon, early evening. I'll see you guys then. Thanks for hanging out with me. And until tomorrow, have a good one.